Hey guys, this morning I'm out here digging up my russet potatoes. Planted these back in, I want to say February, maybe early February. And it was kind of an experiment based on the thought that, potatoes are technically a perennial, so you can plant them in cold weather, and if they get frosted, the tops might get burned back, but the roots should still stay there and they should regrow. And I actually did get a light frost on them a couple times, and it seemed like it really hurt them quite a bit. They never really seemed to recover back from that. I don't know if it was the frost for sure that did that. It could have been, several other things that actually caused them to get hurt. But anyway, I'm digging them up this morning. I think I started with, I want to say 10 or maybe a dozen potato plants, and we'll see. My other videos I showed where they were growing, but they were growing just in this space to the end of this raised bed here, and they didn't do very well because they got popped like they did now. Here's my red potatoes, and they're doing very, very well, just growing like weeds. So hopefully that's an indication that there's also going to be a good harvest below them, but we'll find out when I dig them later on. But anyway, I'm digging these up since they're not really doing very well, and I need the space. So I'm going to dig out, see what I got. That's what I've got so far. It's not bad. I mean, there's a couple in here. This one here, that's a pretty good sized spud. But, I've got a lot of these little things that were growing in around the roots of the plant. But anyway, I just want to show you guys. I've got two or three plants left over there to dig up. I'm digging right here right now where I had one plant die out. I had another one that was here that the plant was dead and gone actually. But then when I started digging, I found potatoes under it. So just because you don't see the plant anymore doesn't mean there aren't potatoes there. So this works really great in the raised bed because I can just go through the whole raised bed. I'm not trying, I'm not worried that, well, did I dig deep enough or did I go wide enough? They stay pretty tight around the base of the plant. They don't spread out a whole lot. So you can usually just dig, about maybe a 2-foot radius around each plant, and you should find them. But what I'm doing is I'm just going through with my hands and just physically working this bed down to the clay bottom on it. And I don't think I've missed any. I think I dug up my sweet potatoes last fall, and I did miss one of those. And when I was planting these potatoes here, back in February, and I dug the sweet potatoes in November, I found a sweet potato. And it had been buried out here in the ground the whole time, and it was still fresh. It had handled better than the ones that were stored in the house. It was dug like it was brand new. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But anyway, I'm going through the soil right now, digging out what I can, and I'll do a little clip here at the end to show us what my total harvest was. But it's really not bad. But the argument is whether or not it's worth your time and your space to grow your own potatoes, because potatoes are so cheap. They're so very cheap. Now, from a concern of whether it's organic or whether it's natural, where it's come from, you can't beat that. And the question of whether or not to grow or to buy, it's always better to grow your own because you know what's happened. But if you're limited on space, you should always, kind of question what it's really worth. Is it worth it to grow something that's so cheap, or are you better off just to go buy it? Personally, I just enjoy growing it. Half the time, half the stuff I grow, I end up giving it away anyway because I forget to ever do anything with it. So I just enjoy gardening. But like I said, I'll finish digging up what I got here, and then I'll do a little clip at the end, and we'll take them in the house and weigh them and see. Well, that's it. Not a whole lot more than that last little bit of the video. I dug up those last two plants, and I got a few more out of it. Nothing to brag on. I got a few that were, this size is what I found underneath those last two plants. No more big ones like this guy. But I'm going to let them sit out here in the sun today. It's just supposed to be nice and warm and dry today. Let them sit out here in the sun, let them cure up, and then we'll dust them off, clean them off, and bring them in the house, try to put them in storage somewhere. I still got to figure out the right way to store them. I haven't had good luck with it so far, at least not with my sweet potatoes. My sweet potatoes wanted to start rotting on me after just a month or two, and I don't know if I should have washed them to get off some sort of bacteria or what, but I was under the impression that you weren't supposed to wash them. You were just supposed to let them dry and then, put them in storage. But I don't think you're supposed to store them, I believe, in some sort of sand medium or sawdust. And I just have mine sitting in a bucket in the house. So I think they probably started to rot because of that. But I got a few good eatings out of them and made some baby food out of it, so that was good. But now I'm going to head down here. I'm not going to mess with the red potatoes yet because they're still doing good. I want to pull my onions, so I'll make a separate video about my onion harvest.